Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Intentional Favor, and on this channel I share my life experiences on issues pertaining to faith, lifestyle. Most times I share experiences of studying abroad, especially in the UK as an international student. So please, if you like to join this family, you are more than welcome to do so. Just hit the red subscribe button below. Also hit notification bell so that I get notified each time I upload a new video. So guys, today's video is more like a continuation of last week's video. So in my previous video, I talked about courses with high emphasis on courses with high job prospects in the UK after graduation, especially as an international student. If you've not seen that video, I'll leave the link up here. You'll do yourself a lot of good to watch that video. So in that particular video, I addressed those that are yet to come to the UK, those that are still seeking admission or in the process of making up their minds on which course to study. So I released that video just to encourage them and tell them the courses that have high job demands in the UK, especially when you are coming as an international student. So in this particular video, I'll be talking to those that are here already, or those that for one reason or the other, or maybe they've been offered admission already into a particular course. Probably we are in October, right? I know so many people, they've gained admission for January intake. So if that is your case, you already studying a particular course, and probably for one reason or the other it was not mentioned in my last video as one of the courses with high job prospects. This is what we'll be talking about today. I'm just going to be giving tips to the best of my knowledge, please. Yes, that's a disclaimer. These tips, I don't actually have an experience, but I'm gaining the experience gradually, because when I'm filming this video, I'm already in the process of looking for jobs, okay, because my studies is actually coming to an end gradually. So to the best of my knowledge, I'm going to be giving you guys tips on how to actually find a job that could give you a tier 2 sponsorship, which is the only way you can remain in the UK after studying. Of course, you have the 2 years post-study visa, but the question is, after the 2 years post-study visa, after 2 years, what happens next? If after your 2 years after the 2 years post-study visa, you couldn't find a job that will give you tier 2 sponsorship, you have no valid visa to remain in the UK, and the implication of that is that you'll be heading back to your country. So I'm going to be sharing tips on how to avoid that happening to you. So the first thing I will say is begin your job search early. Yes, regardless of the course you are studying, okay, make sure that you begin your job search very early. Now, if your program is 1 year, okay, now 6 months into your program, I will encourage you, probably if you have time, you can even start early enough. When I'm talking about job search, it doesn't mean sending an application right away, okay? So I will advise you, peradventure you are still confused as to whether your course has high job prospects, or what are your chances of remaining in the UK after studying this particular course. One advice is begin your job search early, and by job search it includes so many things. I always mention it on this channel: research. That's one thing I've noticed that people don't like doing. They don't like research. So take your time. Of course, if you are here studying a program, maybe at master's level, you should be able to know how to do research. Just take your time, sit down, okay, and now look for maybe jobs that, or maybe companies that are applying for, because I'm not sure, I've gotten so many questions in the comment section of my previous video. What about this course? What about this course? I've had so many courses. I don't know what these courses are all about. I don't know what job you can even do with some of these. So it's up to you. You understand the scope of the course you are studying. So sit down, take your time, just take 1 day or two to just go and research what companies, depending on the role you believe that you can fit into after graduating with that particular degree, after graduating from that particular course. Make sure that you check out, okay, what companies are hiring for this position. Check that out. There are so many ways you can search that. Indeed is one app that can help you. Download Indeed, download Total Jobs. That's another app that can also help you search for jobs, okay? And now take your time to study and see, okay, are there, because some people ask me, what about this course? Are there job prospects for this particular course? The answer is, I don't know. I can't know about every course. I don't even know the scope of every course. So it's the responsibility lies on you to take your time and check for agencies, companies that are hiring for that particular role. Okay, now when you do that, your research will also entail finding out the there's what is called person specification. So there are what they need from a person that should take up this role. Study the person specification carefully. What are the things they need? What do they require? What are the skills that are needed for that particular role? Do you have those skills? And you see why you need to start this research early enough, because when you find out that, oh, they require someone with this particular skill, and you assess yourself and you feel you don't have that skill, you can start asking yourself questions. What can I do to gain these skills? Then of course you can start as much as possible to gather those skills. So begin your job search early. Carry out your research to find out the companies that are taking up these roles. Find out, are they much? If they are not much, of course it gives you clue to know that, oh, it means that this particular course doesn't really have high job prospects here in the United Kingdom, especially the fact that you need tier 2 sponsorship visa. Okay, so that's the first advice. Begin your job search early. Second tip I will give is, I gave it also in my last video, study the register of licensed tier 2 sponsorship, like the companies or the employers that have the license to offer tier 2 sponsorship visa. Make sure that you study that register. Depending on the program you are studying, the course you are studying, just take your time. One advice I will give on that register, don't do it on your phone because it's massive. The list is so many, and mind you, not every one of them on that list is active. Yes, not every one of them is active, but at least it gives you a clue as to how many companies actually have the license to give you tier 2 sponsorship after studying a particular program. Like I said, don't do that on your phone because you won't get the best out of it. Do it on a laptop, on a desktop. At least the screen is wide in front of you and you see everything on one screen, the name of the company, what they have and do. And when you take your time to study it, I'm not telling you what I've not done. Even myself, now that I'm beginning to apply for jobs, I have taken my time to study that register. At first I did it on the phone. I was confused, I was getting discouraged, but when I did it on a desktop, it was clear enough for me. And of course I studied and I found out so many local authorities that actually have sponsorship, the license for tier 2 sponsorship. And what did I do? I went to their website, I checked if they have vacancy for social work, and of course many of them we always do, and I started applying. First of all, they were my top priority. I started applying to them. So I'm not telling you what I've not practiced. So take out your time. So many times people don't like to do research. They just want a quick and easy answer. Favor, does this happen? Does this happen? What effort have you put as a person to make sure that you get the rightful information? Nobody can inform you better than yourself. Okay, make sure you carry out that research, check the register, and know the companies that actually that are licensed to give sponsorship depending on the particular program you studied. Why this is important? For instance, there is one particular, like based on my research, like when I was just checking different local authorities, I found out that so many local authorities, I think I gave somebody this answer in the comment section of the last video about teaching jobs. People have been asking me what are the job prospects for education, for teaching and all of that. It is high, but sometimes where the issue lies is about getting tier 2 sponsorship visa. Mind you, there are loads of opportunities in the UK. The course you studied, with that you can get a job, but we are not just looking at getting a job. Okay, we are looking at the one that can sponsor your visa. Now, let me say this at this point. One thing you can do is that even when you apply for a job, don't feel reluctant to apply to a company because they don't have the license. Yes, please don't make that mistake. Go ahead and then apply, okay? Even when they give you the job, then you can now mention and ask them about the tier 2 visa sponsorship. Now, the company or the local authority or anything, they can apply to have the license. It takes nothing much, so it's something they can do. So when they have like found out that, oh, you fit into this role, you are a good candidate to take up that particular job role, and they've given you the job offer, one thing that you will now do, you can now bring it up. This is my suggestion, okay? I won't advise you to bring it up immediately. After you have landed the job, then you can ask them this question, okay? And if they say they don't, ask them, Can they do it? Because I've noticed so far that so many HRs, so many companies or local authorities, they don't even know about this tier 2 sponsorship. They are not aware. So you might be the one to tell them about it. And I said in my previous video, right now with this 2 years post-study visa that UK introduced, believe me, before you know it, so many companies, so many local authorities will be on that register. Because with international students coming and studying, and after 2 years they have the post-study visa, the implication is that they will be looking for jobs. And the more you get the job, the more companies are aware. By the time you've gotten a job and you mention to them, I need tier 2 sponsorship, and all they need to do is to go and find out how to register. It's simple. It's just a click away. They click on a link and they have to pay a certain fee, of course. Some of them might be reluctant. They don't want to go through all that because they will pay for your visa, they will pay the government, but they have an advantage because you'll be working with them. It's more like a contract. You stay with them minimum of 3 years and maximum of 5 years. And after that 5 years, you are entitled to apply for indefinite leave to stay. That means you become a UK citizen. I know you like the sound of that, right? The third thing I will say is don't underestimate care or support work. Please don't, especially if you are studying a course or a program that doesn't have high job prospects in the UK. Don't underestimate care jobs and support work. Even as maybe if you are studying social work or you are intending to study social work, take this from me. One thing that will also improve your skills, your CV, and also your experience is care and support work. Yes, it will. Especially, for instance, if you're looking at going into adult mental health. If you know, because the people that you handle as a healthcare assistant, caregiver, support worker are people with mental health needs. When you're working in a nursing home, you are working with people with dementia and all of those stuff. And of course, it gives you experience, especially when you want to go into adult mental health as a social worker. So it gives you experience. So many people downplay this. I know I've said so many things about healthcare assistant jobs. Of course, it's not the best of jobs that you might want to do, but that experience you gather from that particular job, it's worth it. It's amazing. Okay. Now, why I'm saying this is that from experience, of course, as I'm beginning to apply for jobs, looking for tier 2 sponsorship and all of that, I've come across so many healthcare assistant jobs that give tier 2 sponsorship visa. Yes, it might interest you to know. Healthcare assistant, the pay might not be the best. Some of the time you see some of them 18,000 to 22,000 per annum and all of that. It might not be the best, but at the end of the day, it depends on what you want. Okay. Sometimes people say nothing goes for nothing, and all of that. Of course, your case can be exceptional, but I think if your purpose of coming is to stay back, and of course you can endure for 5 years, and that doesn't mean that when you are working there you can't do another job. For instance, as far as you cover your rota and all your work schedule with that particular company, there are so many healthcare assistant jobs, especially under NHS, that have tier 2 sponsorship visa. So I believe that if you have experience as a caregiver, like a carer or a support worker, healthcare assistant, if you have that experience, you can apply for these jobs, and that's another job that can give you tier 2 sponsorship visa. I know I have said something similar to what I'm about to say now, but I also want to emphasize on it. Gather experiences as a student. Gather skills, gather experiences as a student. Of course, I've said something related to that. When you do some jobs, healthcare assistant, support worker, caregiver, and all of that, when you do all of those jobs, you are gathering skills, you are gathering experiences. And I said it also earlier when I talked about doing your research, starting your job search early. So when you start early, you can see some skills that you need to develop. As a student, go ahead and develop those skills rather. Go ahead and develop them. Go ahead, get the experience. Check this person's specification. If you see what is there and you don't have it, ask yourself, how can I get this? How can I do this? And then you go for it. This way, sometimes here, jobs are mostly about skills and experiences. Of course, you are not the only one applying for one particular role. So many people, you might have the qualification. Mind you, other people, they also have the qualification. One thing that will stand you out is your skills and your experiences. And sometimes not just having them, your ability to talk about them, present them in your job application, in your CV and all. Very, very important. Another tip I want to give is voluntary works. Yeah, I know sometimes when people hear voluntary works, they'll be like, please, I don't want, and all of that, probably from where you are coming. But can I tell you something? Not all voluntary works are pay free. if that makes sense. So not all voluntary works are free of, like they don't pay you. There are paid voluntary works. Yes, most times, for instance, when you volunteer with NHS, their voluntary work, they pay their volunteers. So don't be taken aback, or don't just ignore the fact that, oh, volunteer. Of course, there are some of them, and someone has asked, yes, it's part of your 20 hours. You can either do 20 hours as a volunteer or as a paid worker, okay? But don't be thrown off with voluntary works, okay? Here in the UK, there are many, or some, I'm not sure what to say, but I know that there are jobs or there are voluntary works that are paid. So try as much as possible, especially when you are in the medical field or something. Try and look for voluntary opportunities. You can find one that is paid, and that can also enhance your opportunity of landing a job that will give you tier 2 sponsorship. Probably the last but not the least I want to say now is that you can switch to another program. When I say switch to another program, please don't ask me how you do that. When I mean switch, I mean probably at the end of your program, you can apply for another master's into a program, into a course that has high job prospects. Yes, that's maybe the last option. That's why I'm saying it last. So by the time you have explored all these options, right, and then you found out that maybe it's not working out for you, now another thing you can do is to apply for another master's. Go and apply for a course, go and apply for a program that has high job prospects, which after studying, of course, you can get a job that will give you tier 2 sponsorship, and there you go, you have what you want. So guys, I think with that I've come to the end of this video. I'm not sure if these tips were helpful for you in any way, but like always, let's continue this discussion in the comment section. But please don't forget to give this video thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you have not, and I'll be seeing you guys in my next video. Until then, stay blessed, remain intentional, and take care of yourself. Bye.